Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I've posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. This was my birthday dinner last night. It took me about maybe 10 to 15 minutes to cook this meal. It was a lot of fun. And more importantly is that because with my fast cooking system, with flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking, I can cook something exactly how I like it. But also importantly, I explore something new. My friend Tom told me recently is that there is a sale on tuna and saltfish. And I thought, well, I normally do not cook with tuna and saltfish. I thought maybe for my birthday, this is something worth me to try. So I went and purchased that. For that birthday dinner, I'm going to cook it with two vegetables. I'm going to use a cauliflower, which sometimes referred to as a Asian cauliflower. It's slightly different from the regular cauliflower you find in the supermarket because it has a more of a stem and the texture is a little bit softer. I decided I'm going to blanch it first to arrive at the texture that I want. And I have a special way of thinking about how I'm going to cook it, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit while I move along with this video. And the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to use some broccoli. Both the cauliflower and broccoli are my favorite vegetables, and since it's my birthday, why not? I used my favorite vegetable. I blanched the cauliflower first because they're a little bit tougher than the broccoli and also the texture that I like. I like the cauliflower have a softer texture, whereas broccoli, I like it to be more crisp. So by branching them at a different time point during the branching process, I'm able to cook to the texture that exactly how I like it. Now, blanching turned out to be a really good way to create vegetable to the exact texture how you like it. And so when you do want to stir fry it, they are much faster. And in this case, it took about maybe 3 minutes to blanch them both together. And the wok turned out to be perfect for this purpose. And with the wok, you can have a lot of space. And to stop them from cooking any further, I transfer the vegetable directly to a bowl of cold water. That will stop them from cooking. And that is very important. When you finish blanching them, make sure you move them in a bowl of cold water. Of course, make sure that you have enough water that will cut the temperature down so that they will not cook any further. In this case, after I transfer it into this colander, I rinse it a bit further with cold water. Okay, now I'm ready to cook the tuna. Now this is the first time for me to cook tuna. And I decided I'm going to use the same template that I use for cooking salmon. Basically, I will cut the tuna into small pieces so I will have better control of how I want to cook them. And I also cut them relatively thin so that I can cook them quickly. Now, based on my experience with salmon, I know that they will turn out great because by having them in individual pieces, I know exactly how much I want to cook each one of them. So I can pick them out from the wok as long as I am able to control how long I want to cook them. Now, I'm going to use about ½ pound of tuna. I'm going to use the tuna as a condiment rather than as a main ingredient, the same way that I use with other type of meat. I discovered that the best way to use meat is actually use them as a condiment. I find that the vegetable, in fact, I would call them to be the main star of the show. And by adding some meat to it, it will make the vegetable more interesting. And to me, that is probably the best way to enhance our vegetable consumption, at the same time to reduce the meat consumption. The idea in the way how I cook the tuna is very similar that I cook the salmon. I want to sear the tuna. As you can see in here, the tuna actually contains quite a bit of oil. Right there, you can tell the tuna is a pretty fatty fish. But fish oil turn out to have great nutritional value. So I definitely will want to find a way to incorporate this oil into my dish. And my friend Nick also loves tuna. He told me that quite often he will grill his tuna. he would take the entire piece and he grilled it on his grill. And I prefer not to use a grill because first of all, is that I'm afraid if I grill the tuna, if I cook the entire piece, it's quite likely that I'm not able to cook it evenly. So by cutting them into small pieces, give me much better control. And this is the same idea that when I use for cooking salmon. The another way that my friend Nick told me that quite often he will also pan fry the tuna exactly the way I'm doing it. But he usually will pan fry the entire piece. Again, I feel that by cutting them into small pieces, the same experience that I have with salmon is that it gives me much better control in terms of the doneness of the tuna. In this case, I can judge how much I want to cook each piece. And that has a tremendous advantage in better control. It works for salmon, so I assume that it probably will work for tuna as well. This is a good example of template-based cooking. The next is that I'm going to use some eggplant. Now, I have this eggplant for about close to maybe 2 weeks, and they are the Asian type of eggplant. Now, I specifically want to choose the eggplant is that eggplant has a great tendency to absorb the oil. As you can see that all the oil on the surface of the wok has been completely taken up by the eggplant in just a matter of seconds. In fact, I need to add more oil. Eggplant tastes best if you can saturate it with oil. And that's why fried eggplant actually tastes really great because of the oil that are penetrated into the flesh of the eggplant. So right now, I just want to continue to stir fry the eggplant, and I add more oil to make sure that they are saturated with oil. As you notice that I always keep my oil in a squeeze bottle, so I can quickly deposit the amount of oil that I need. And the next is that I'm going to like to create a sauce. First of all, I'm going to use some water to basically to clean the surface of the wok. I call this method spot cleaning. Basically, you are steaming the surface of the wok, and this will allow you to remove anything that might stuck to the surface of the wok. Now, this actually has two advantages. One is that it will allow you to return the flavor back to the dish. And secondly is that, of course, it will make cleaning the wok much easier later on. Next, I'm going to season the dish. The eggplant is great for absorbing flavor, so I'm going to season it with my regular method with oyster sauce, which I use about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and then I'm going to use about half to 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. Again, I keep my sauce in squeeze bottle, so I really don't have to measure it. This gives me a much more spontaneity in how I season my dish. Okay, I'm going to create a little bit more sauce by adding more water. Now, as you notice that the surface of the wok is now pretty clean, and now when I take it to the sink, I will be able to clean it in a matter of minutes. And this method of cleaning the wok, as well as reclaiming the flavor from the ingredients that might have burned to the surface of the wok, is an excellent method. And so I would strongly recommend you to try this. It will make cleaning much easier later on. Now, I'm going to approach this dish differently than what I have done in the past. First of all, I'm going to layer the vegetables, the broccoli and the cauliflower that I have blanched earlier. Now, you notice that I did not season this vegetable at all. And the reason is that I really like the natural flavor, the broccoli as well as the cauliflower. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the eggplant, which I'm going to place right over them as a way to create a contrast in flavor. Now, the eggplant is tend to be soft, and now they have absorbed the flavor, will give them great flavor characteristics. But then when you eat them together with the cauliflower and broccoli, it will create that contrast, and it's this contrast that will give you the culinary experience that is truly exquisite. And so using this method, I'm able to create a dish that have the kind of a flavor profile that will allow me to get the best of the both worlds. I have a strong flavor which seasoned with oyster sauce and hoisin sauce, but then I have that nice natural flavor come from the cauliflower and the broccoli. This is what makes home cooking so much fun and so enjoyable, because this is something that I just come to my mind, and I have tried this earlier before, but this time I really think I'm going to get it just right. And the final step is that I'm going to layer on top of the dish with the tuna pieces that I cooked earlier. Now, this is a clear demonstration is that now you have a balanced meal, a meal that have great flavor produced by different type of vegetables. But on top of that, you use the tuna as a condiment. And to me, this is probably the kind of the creativity that would not be possible. I don't think anybody else will be able to cook such a dish for me if I go to any restaurants. And last but not the least, I have some scallions. I always have some scallions on hand. Scallions is a great way to help you to both enhance the flavor of the dish, because scallion has a strong onion flavor. But furthermore, a scallion is great for enhanced appearance of the dish. As we all know, is that look is as important as taste. And as my friend Angel always pointed out, she said, make sure you make your dish look good. Of course, she is the graphic designer, so appearance is very important to her, but that turned out to be a very important lesson for me. Last but not the least, I put on some garden tomatoes, which was given to me by my friend Ryan, and the garden tomatoes just perfect at this time of the year. I wish we have garden tomatoes all year round, because during regular time of the year, I rarely eat any tomatoes. Okay, this dish turned out to be great. I love the tuna, and the tuna just cooked just to the right texture and doneness that I want. But more importantly is that I'm able to cook exactly how I like it, and furthermore, it is really economical. I have a lot of fun in cooking this birthday dinner, and I really do not think anybody else can do it better for me. And this is the significance of home cooking, why home cooking is so valuable. I post a video each day to help you make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system, which will help you to make your home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.